Hi everybody and welcome back to my modeling channel. So today we're gonna build a Stearman from Revell on scale 1/72. So that kit has been bought long time ago, so that's why I lost the box through all those relocations that I did in the past. But anyway, we won't be able to open the box, but we're gonna check out the kit review. So we're gonna start initially with our instruction sheet. It's pretty simple, as you can see. It's a very basic kit, but nevertheless I think it was to try it. So I wanted to do that type of aircraft for a long time, as I managed to once do a flight on the Stearman, so of course that's something you always keep forever in your mind. So instruction sheet, very easy to do it, as you can see, pretty straightforward. The kit is pretty basic, but so is the details and the instruction sheet. So you can see that you're moving on, and then you arrive, and the last part basically is to put all the, you can use some sewing thread, and then you're gonna put this all over your kit. Let's see how I can deal with it. Might not be that easy for me. And then the US Navy decals. So as you can see, the board is pretty simple. We'll see what we're gonna do. I haven't really decided. I mean, if you're watching the video, you already see the final result. But still, nevertheless, we're gonna check this out. So now, let's open that little bag and see what we can come up with. So as you can see, the kit is in yellow color. Quite interesting, because you have the date of when the kit was done. It's 1982 kit, but that's gonna we're gonna get rid of that later on the build. All the rivets up front here, maybe you can see them. All those rivets are not engraved, they are outside, but some of those panel lines are engraved, so it's going to be interesting. I hope I'm not going to use too much putty. Like that we're going to be able to keep this out. Now we go on the upper part of the wing, and still nice, still it's engraved. Some of the panel lines and the rivets are outside, which is perfect. And of course those panel lines are again, the panel lines are engraved, but the rivets are outside. Then we have two pilots, but I'm not going to use the pilots. I'm going to have a little bit of work, as I'm going to try to make the pilot seats, and maybe a dashboard. And we have also the engine is not very well detailed, of course, but I'm going to try to make something nice out of that little kit. Here is the gear, and that's our wheels. Some of the wheels will require some extra work. I don't know if you can see from here, but we can see that, yeah, they are not really rounded. But we're gonna work this out. With a little bit of time and patience, I'm sure we can come to a very nice result. And clear part are coming with two windscreen for that little Stearman. So that's about it for that kit review. So enough of talking, and let's start building. So we're gonna start this build by pre-painting basically the interior of that Stearman. For this I will use some deck tan color, and then we're gonna build or try to replicate basically the interior of the Stearman. So for this I will use some plastic cards that I pre-painted as well in that green livery, yellow-green color livery, and then we're gonna try to replicate all that structure and all those panels all together. I will now just cut another plastic part, and then I will use that to prepare our I will mark basically the wings, and then I will drill, and then I will put our stick basically for the flight controls. Then we're gonna work on the other side of the aircraft to try to prepare our interior. Now I'm gonna work on the dashboard, so what I will do is I will use a little bit of modeling paste to have the proper shape, and then I will use that on the plastic board. I will cut it out, and then I will see how it look basically inside the aircraft. Then I will glue it inside that half of fuselage. Now that the dashboard are in the aircraft, we're just gonna paint basically the hand grip of the stick of the yoke basically on the plane, and then we're gonna paint the dashboard in a matte black color as well. I will now start working on the pilot seat. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna use some adhesive tape, but very thin adhesive tape that I will use as the seat belt. So basically what I will do, I will just put them on the seat directly, cut the proper length, and then I will use some paint and I will paint just basically that seat belt or that adhesive tape. And then we're gonna prepare the buckle with a metallic part as well, and then that would be enough for our seat, and then we will put them of course inside the model. After this we're gonna close our fuselage, and for this I will use just some regular needle glue, and then we're gonna make sure that we have the proper shape. And once we have the fitting we are looking for, then we're gonna glue basically and add our pilot seat inside the model. Our next step is to fit the lower wing on that fuselage, and then but nothing really too difficult. And then we're gonna close all those little gaps between the fuselage parts and the wings and fuselage junction. So what we will do, we use some grey Tamiya putty, and then I will put it all around the aircraft. Of course, let it cure, and then remove the extra putty with some sandpaper. I will now also close some parts on the wings, and those are on the upper part of both wings, the lower and the upper ones, and they are due to the mold, and that's a small defect from the mold. So we're gonna fill up those parts to make sure that we still have that nice biplane texture. So after that, of course, we're gonna remove all the extra putty, and then you will see a nice gray dot basically once I would have put everything at the correct shape. Now that we remove all those extra putty, we're gonna prepare our stabilizer, the horizontal stabilizer. So I have to remove the extra plastic, of course, and then we're gonna check the fitting on the tail, and then of course we will glue those parts with some regular Revell glue. And following this, we glue also the landing gear, and of course we're gonna add a little bit of putty as there is some mold issue, it's not too precise. And then we're gonna start putting the rods basically on the part of the wings, and those are the supports basically for the upper wing plan. So what we will do now, we're gonna remove the extra putty that we put on the landing gear as well. Make sure that we have some smooth parts, as there is some small issues during the mold. So we'll now start the paint. So initially we can see that on those Stearman there was a red band on the wing. So we're gonna do that initially before moving forward to the build, and it's easier to do that while the upper wing is not glued to the fuselage. We'll have an easier way, and it's easier to work this way. So that's why I took that decision. Then I painted the vertical stab basically in that blue color, and then of course now we're gonna have to protect all the area, and we're gonna use a glossy yellow color for the rest of the fuselage and the wings. Now that our paint is dried, we're gonna start adding the decals. I have to say that I was a bit disappointed with the decal from Revell this time, because normally they are really good quality, but those ones, they were quite fragile, they broke in few pieces, they require some extra caution. So I even used some solution, but even so it was not easy really to get the proper fitting. But nevertheless, with a bit of time and patience, and a lot of care, I have to say, you are able to get all these decals. The main thing is for the red ring around the fuselage, and the bigger ones as well, like the American star on the top of the wings. They were quite fragile, so if you don't use any solution, you might have a big chance to break those decals, and that's gonna ruin a little bit your model. So just exercise some cautions when you do that, and then you'll be fine, and you won't have any big issues. So while our decals are drying out, now we're gonna paint our wheels, and for this I will use a matte black color, and the same for the tail wheel as well. So once this is finished, I will still use the same color, and there is a kind of a leather ring at the entry of the cockpit, so that's what I'm painting at the moment on the model. So we'll now finish the decaling part. So we're going to add the numbers as well on the front parts basically of that red ring, that red band, and then we're going to add all the serial numbers and the squadron numbers. We'll now paint the rim of the undercarriage, and I'm using a regular gray color. Then we're gonna add some metallic color directly on the landing gear, and then we're gonna start painting our engine. So for this I will use some steel color, and then of course there will be some more adjustment with a little bit of rust color on some pipes. And then of course we'll do some access panel lines basically on that engine to give a more realistic effect, and use the engine colors. So we'll now proceed with the wheels basically on the model. So we're gonna put the wheels and glue them basically directly on the aircraft, and then we'll add of course the rims, and then we're gonna start working on the windscreen. So initially I'm gonna prepare the parts, then I'm gonna paint basically the yellow structure on the windscreen directly. And for this I'm not using any mask, just a regular paintbrush, and that does the job very easily. We will now add our windscreen on the model, and we'll be almost ready for display. Then of course we'll add the propeller, and the aircraft will be ready for display. I didn't put all the lines, as I don't have too much experience on that, so I just left without all those lines. And you can see now the final result of that Stearman on scale 1/72. So I hope you enjoyed that build with me. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done it, and I will see you soon for another kit review and build video. Thank you for watching.